What's up, beer drinkers, and welcome to another special cold brew podcast. This is the Tap That Takeover series, and I'm here with Jared Thorn from Six Byrd Cider. Oh, we talk about a lot of stuff. I'm not a very knowledgeable person when it comes to cider, so I asked him some rudimentary questions, but I also got to ask about him, about the man, the myth, the legend that is Jared Thorn. We also talk a little bit about sports. I did ask him because, I got some friends in the beer community and they love Six Byrd Cider. And they said, hey, ask him about how they got the name Six Byrd Cider. So that's thrown in there too, somewhere in the middle. And by the end, we're talking about sports because that's a couple things I love. I love to drink and I love to talk about sports. So, all right. So before we get to the episode, I just want to give a quick shout out again to Roshim, Austin, and Rosa, and all the lovely crew out there at Tap That Downtown at 909 5th Street in Phoenix, Arizona, for hosting this every month, and especially for Roshim for getting it all together and setting it all up. And then also just want to give a shout out to Copper State Beer Fest coming up in January 18th, 2025 at Riverview Park. Oh my goodness, Riverview Park in Mesa, Arizona. You can get your tickets at copperstatebeerfest.com. All right, so without further ado, here it is Jared and I talking about cider. Well, I mean, I bet you drink ciders all the time because you're tasting them, right? Testing them.
Yeah. It's a tough part of the job, you know. It's the part that everyone likes to focus on, but yeah, there's lots of other fun ins and outs between that and tasting. So yeah, it's fun.
Oh yeah, I mean all the cleaning, right? The cleaning.
I say it's like a glorified janitor, like 75-80% of the time, and then like the other 20% is the fun, like cider making, beer making, whatever you sell.
Yeah, exactly. How'd you get into it? Did you really want to be a cleaner your whole life?
Right? No, that is a fun story. My oldest brother Eric is one of my business partners, and then my cousin Jackson is another business partner. And we grew up. Family business was furniture manufacturing, so we grew up around warehouses and different things like that. And that just pigtails into Eric going to Europe when he was in college. And so he was able to just experience a lot of the great beers and ciders over there.
Yeah.
And then he's about 5-6 years older than me. So when he came back from college, I was still in high school. And we just started making ciders together, actually, when I was in high school. So we started back then.
Why ciders over beer?
You know, at that time, it's just, I will say, it's a little easier. It's a little simpler on the front end to make a cider. I always say, or at least it's winemaking, really.
Yeah.
So I always like to tell people cider or wine, well, cider in particular is like the bastard cousin between wine and beer. It's like, it's the one, or at least how we do modern cider making is like, we kind of prepare it more like a beer, traditional big tanks and everything. It's a shorter fermentation. And then we do a lot of the mixing on the front end. And then compared to beer, you make all the kind of nuance wheat and grain, you curate those sugars.
Yeah.
Cider, we get all that from fruit. So it's like we start there, ferment it, and then at backside blend a lot of good stuff on it. So
okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of and I can explain that a little bit better later, but yeah. So it's sorry, jumping right in.
No, you're fine. So the cider thing was just from the jump street, huh?
Yeah, it was just, it was easier, honestly, and we had fun with it. Eric spent time in Austria, and they had some really unique blends over there.
Yeah.
And so, like, the wines were just fun and easy, especially when you're starting out. They're just, like, a little simpler when you have fruit juice versus, like, an exotic blend or getting a hold of a curated wort or whatever on those, like, packages.
Yeah.
It can be also more expensive. So, like, even getting into it's a little cheaper, easier.
Yeah, or like, milling your own.
Milling and all that, and like
blending.
Honestly, I don't pretend to be a beer maker, so like, or a brewer, obviously. Winemaker is always the title for me, but and that's just a distinction between literally brewing. You brew the hops and the grains and the malts to curate the sugars, like I was saying, and then winemaking, you just take the existing sugars, you might add some, but you're not cooking anything. You're not
Oh.
brewing anything literally. So
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like
okay.
we're just making it. So yeah, I am a cider maker, winemaker. Proud to put that on my taxes. That's always fun.
Why do you suppose then? To me, anything, my own perception is that cider is more of considered in the beer world than the wine world.
Is what considered part of the beer world?
Yeah.
So it's all right. Thank you. That brings it full circle to my bastard cousin comment, where we make it more like a beer style, and then we deliver it on draft and on tap. And so
Okay.
that's really That's really where it comes full circle to that, where we make it in the big tanks. We'll make our different flavor profiles with spices. I actually love using hops. I do an own hop tea. We'll blend that in, but we'll add all that stuff in, bubble it up, and then put it in kegs, cans, bottles.
Yeah.
Whatever vessel we can fit it in that people want it. So and
I
that's
see
always
that.
fun. Yeah.
I could see that.
So yeah, and I love seeing it on tap. It's always gratifying. And Rosie was very nice and pointing out where they were.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm
So that's always
having
fun.
the cranberry spice one.
That's one of my favorites. That is.
It is the season, right?
We always call it Christmas in a cup. Is how we describe that one. And a lot of these, it's funny. I am the blender, the maker, but it's always a group process. On like, we come up with a flavor idea. I'll kind of throw my, my recipe at the wall, and then we'll bring it together as a group and figure it out. Like that one was, a good collaboration of the spice mix. Eric does a great job helping me out with that. Jackson sells the crap out of it. It's fun.
No, it's really good because you got the sweetness, of course, of the cider.
Yeah.
Then the tartness of the cranberry shines through, and then that cinnamon hits you. You smell the cinnamon first.
Yeah. Yeah, the cinnamon, cardamom, allspice, and clove.
Okay.
And then I do a fresh spice mix, and we do a spice tea. Blend all that together, and then cool it down on organic agave. Mm-hmm. And then that's at least how I think it kind of melds together, and then chill it down, and then that cranberry, you're right, it's just like has enough crisp up front, and then a little bit of sweetness, but I always like the dry kind of bite.
Yeah.
Growing up around here in Arizona native, just citrus bite, that sort of crisp crunch on there is always what I like in like kind of flavor profiles.
Yeah. And down here in Arizona, we're not very cold as compared to like say Minnesota or Michigan.
Yeah.
But we do have our cool season, and it's really dry.
Yeah.
And so this helps warm you up.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's a pair that I like drier ciders. I have to kind of catch myself sometimes because even though I think people don't like it as sweet as they might tell themselves, like the dry ciders are just easier to drink, especially warm, cool days. I like to say we got hot season and not hot season here.
Right, yeah, exactly.
So it's like, we've got 4, 5, 6 months of either side, a little bit in between. But and so what I do love is our ciders. They drink great when it's a little cooler here, per se.
Yeah.
And then transitioning right into that spring, summertime, we've got citrus blends, and I use teas and all different things that's kind of bright and light. And apple pie is one of our favorites. You can drink that any time of the year.
Yeah.
That one's always nice.
Drink it right after Thanksgiving dinner.
Thanksgiving or 4th of July. Yeah. My birthday's the 5th, so I love that one. I make a big batch of that every year. I love it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just for your birthday.
Yeah,
cider.
exactly. I got some special ones I make. Seasonally they'll know, and it's like a bright apple. That's just a nice dry English style cider. It's a little bit drier than like what a bigger market might like.
Yeah.
But I always find that people that try it, they like it a lot more than they expect because it just it has nice apple, but a crisp kind of bright finish.
Well, just being a consumer, I think that with the sweeter ones, that's the Pepsi taste test. They're really good for a shot.
Yeah.
But if you have like a full glass, they start wearing on you.
And it's funny, like the sugar levels, and I don't profess myself to be know too much more about it except for school of just like Hard Knocks and trying it out. But the sugars, they can cover your tongue. Like you literally coat your tongue so you can feel it on a viscosity level.
Yeah.
On like how thick it is.
That's a good point.
And so like and especially the carbonation levels will also affect that sort of perception, because if you have less carbonation, it lays thicker on the tongue. That's why sugary sodas are so carbonated at like 3 vols, or 3 volumes are up there on the PSI.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, the drier ciders just had to be brighter. And I don't know, to me, it's just, they go down easier. I don't like making sugar bombs. Call them sugar, I hate to say diabetes in a cup or something, but
Yeah.
just 40 grams or 44 grams of sugar in a soda. We probably have on a 12 ounce, probably average, maybe 8 to 12, I think.
Oh, wow.
On 12, on 16, we're definitely 12 grams of sugar on our hazy
Okay.
apple.
Not a lot.
Yeah, not a lot. So, but and they go down easy at 7%. That's the dangerous part.
Oh, okay. How do you ramp up like the alcohol in a cider?
Yeah, that's a good question. We can I target my range via just the sugar levels. And so just basic fermentation, the more sugar, the sugar, yeast eats the sugar,
Yeah.
produces the alcohol. The byproduct is CO2. And so I can kind of measure my sugar levels and then use my really good yeast that's honestly kind of the stalwart of our operation to target that and ferment it dry. And I can kind of blend also down a little bit if it's a little hot. As they say, a little bit more alcoholic. And in there, I can blend it a little bit down so
Yeah.
hit my range.
Oh, okay. And the apples. What kind of apples? What kind of juice do you use?
No, that's a good question. So, unfortunately, I would love to source all the apples from Arizona, but as you can imagine, we don't have a lot of that supply.
Correct.
We have actually more orchards than people would think. Arizona was actually one of the biggest apple producers in the country before.
I didn't know that.
Before kind of the big conglomerates kind of coming in like Monsanto and kind of homogenization, something like that.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah, that. But we had more apple orchards, but we actually get it from Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
We get a curated blend up from the Yakima Valley up in Washington.
Oh, wow. They're known for their apples too, huh?
Yes,
Not just
they
tops.
are. Yes. So basically the two big hotbeds, Pacific Northwest up in Washington and Oregon, and then the Northeast, they grow a ton of apples, obviously Midwest, but we get all our stuff from Yakima, and then we work with our producer to get a specific blend of, it's more or less the same 5. It's like Red Delicious, Gala, Macintosh, but it's really more of the sugar levels and the acidity levels that we get in the juice. And so that's kind of how, that's a major role of how we can kind of get the consistency of the fermentation. So
Yeah.
I get the juice blend, and we curate that with them. And then that's how I can kind of get my PLG, which I call Pure Liquid Gold. That's our base.
Okay.
Yeah, the Pure Liquid Gold is our base that we make all of our ciders out of. So that's actually like where it starts, where we monitor that the heaviest, control that. But that consistent process really makes everything so much easier.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a consistency, right? It's key, not just in brewing, but cider making, wine making, everything.
Oh, yeah. And like people joke or give grief about like the big beer guys, but I mean, you got to give them, like, they make, I don't know, millions, if obviously not more, millions and millions of gallons, and it always tastes the same.
Yeah.
Like that's hard to do. People underestimate that. It's like, it's big, but it might taste like, but it's like, geez, that is a feat. So yeah, in our small op, that's something I really try. We make so many different flavors.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep them all. Sometimes I don't touch a flavor till the next year, and I'm reviewing my notes, seeing what's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always fun and always trying new stuff. That's the day to day. That's great.
What's one of the ciders that you've made that brings to mind, or brings a question to mind? One of the ciders that you made that sold out like almost completely. You're like, whoa, that was like a shocker. Like people really loved it.
Not surprisingly, some of our fall varieties, like some people just really love, and we have some niche ones, quote unquote niche, but like gingerbread, we have releasing this month. That one was just a crowd favorite, and I only make it for about 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
I make 2, 3, 4 barrels kind of on demand, but that one is, crowd favorite. Fresh ginger, nutmeg, clove. Yeah, a little bit of clove and cinnamon with molasses is key there, though.
Oh,
so
okay.
the molasses gives it a lot of that rich, dark, just awesome gingerbread flavor.
Yeah.
And that one's great. But cranberry spice, honestly, that one around this time, we make it November, December. Pumpkin pie is another specialty one that it's a pain to make. But I'll tell you, we take a bunch of puree pumpkin and squash, and I do a boil to make my own pumpkin juice.
Okay.
And then I mix that with spices. So it's a big old thing, but man, people just love it. So yeah, we make it every year. I love and hate it. It's great. It's
hate to make it, but love to. The joy it brings.
Yeah, and then I even have people tell me like, man, I don't really particularly like pumpkin pie at all, but man, that's actually pretty damn good. And we're like, I like that pumpkin. I'm like, the essences aren't my favorite thing in the world. Some flavors are easier to reach than others, and they're not necessarily a bad thing. Like they can make really good clean essences or different flavor profiles, but as much as I can kind of curate that myself, that's what I try to do.
Yeah, no,
I think that portrays the best flavor for the product.
Yeah, you don't want to hit them over the head. You want that subtlety.
Yeah, the sledgehammer effect. Well, and it's like cranberry, for example. It's easy to just be like, okay, let's make it taste like cranberry, and you can just load in a ton of juice and ton of spice, but it might not be that enjoyable to drink.
Right.
If you're getting bludgeoned with the sledgehammer of the juice and spice effect. So
right.
I always say I'm kind of a mixologist at heart when I blend all these things together.
Yeah, but you say you blend afterwards. So the cranberry, do you put it before or after you ferment?
Good question. So you can do it like there's a lot of different ways to skin an apple.
Yeah.
To use a terrible phrase, but
Okay.
you can do it a lot of different ways. You can ferment with the cranberry juice on the front end and kind of obviously get some of that profile there. A lot of the flavors and kind of the phenotes will sort of develop out, but you'll get a different blend. But or you can do it back sweetening, back blending.
Yeah.
That's a little bit more of a common practice, and that's generally what we do with a lot of ours, because it's easier to kind of curate those specific blends because making different batches week to week to week. So kind of helps churn those out. So
I gotcha.
Yeah. And so but no, you can do it, and we do those for some of our longer fermentations. So if you do some like barrel stuff, or at barrel age, you might ferment something, throw it in the barrel with some different fruits to kind of long phrase, get those notes and flavors.
What kind of barrels you use when you barrel age?
That honestly, it's kind of whatever comes our way. Jackson.
Okay.
Jackson does a great job, cousin and founder as well. And he does a great job just getting a bunch of relationships with different winemakers and brewers around the valley. So barrels are not cheap, but somehow we found just some that people just want to get rid of. But we used everything from whiskey is a really good one, apple and whiskey.
Yeah.
Fast friends. We've done, different bourbons and different things. I actually had an IPA sour mash barrel, or it was a sour mash bourbon.
Oh, okay.
And then the next, I forget who did it. They did an IPA out of it.
Oh,
and
wow.
And then they gave it to us. So it's gonna be a fun one we're gonna release down the road in 25. But it might not be gluten. Actually, it won't be gluten free because of a little bit of the mixing of the same processes, but it should taste really, really good.
Yeah.
So, it should be really interesting blend there.
Yeah, I would think wine barrels might be the cleanest for the.
Well, and of course,
ciders?
and the wine, in the wine barrel. So like the liquor barrels are fun because they give some big notes.
Yeah.
I'd love to get my hands on a tequila barrel, or I'm a big gin fan.
Okay.
Yeah, some different botanical notes on there, but yes, we did some red wine barrels. That turned out really interesting. It got a little long in the tooth. It just got a little extra woody, so and that's always nice. If anything, or you can blend it down a little bit again, and kind of stretch that profile. So that's what's fun about wine and beer. Or at least cider in particular, I should say. It's a little bit. I'd say there's less rules. Less kind of structural barriers on you should do this, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Because again, it's kind of it's a modern take on just a classic beverage that's been around forever. So
right. Yeah.
Yeah. So we can kind of do whatever we want, and then in the realms of what's of course legal.
Yeah. True. And just experiment.
Those are fun.
Yeah. See what it works, because you can't really make an illegal cider, can you?
No. But I mean, there's a lot of different ways. Liquor laws are fun and nuanced, but no, it's certain things. It's just making sure you pay the right taxes and pay the right.
Oh yeah. Okay.
The right pipers on different things on that. So, but no, I mean like gluten free is obviously where we get a lot of our market, and so we definitely 99.9% of our ciders are gluten free. That would be making something that's not would kind of be uncharacteristic of that kind of market or what they want. In a cider.
Yeah, I mean, obviously when you use a barrel that had gluten in it to begin with, you can't say that it's gluten free, right?
Exactly. But the fun part is we try to have different things for everyone to come into our tap rooms and enjoy. So it's like someone, inevitably, and it's always fine. Someone who's like, I don't like cider. They come into our tap room. I don't want anything cider, or they don't want to. We have some different, like I said, IPA inspired with hops or different things to kind of entice them to try it.
Okay.
But then you can also have like, hey, this was aged in a sour mash bourbon with and so you can get some more people to try it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, but it's a little bit smaller of that market for
So
sure.
you like putting hops in there every once in a while?
Oh yeah. Hops.
Yeah?
Yeah. So
I never tried hoppy cider.
Yeah, hop ciders are definitely actually one of my favorite. I always say like some ciders the larger market isn't really ready for or that knowledgeable about, because you pick up a cider, you think it's gonna be sweet or fruity,
and
then all of a sudden you get something that's like a little bit more bitter and has some different obviously hop notes on it. It's a little bit jarring if you're looking for an apple.
Right.
But those are some of my favorite stuff. I actually do a lot of experimenting with just making, I call it just hop teas. So I'll just boil different hops, different temperatures, different lengths and time, all different hops. You can get different flavors, of course. And so we'll blend those in on the cider. And it makes a really interesting take on it. They're not sweet. I had like maybe a little bit of agave to balance some of that bitterness from the hops. But they're really fun.
That sounds awesome. Yeah. I want to try it. I have not been to the cider yet. I live out in Surprise, so it's hard for me to get way out there.
No worries.
But I have a bunch of friends who went out your first couple weeks, grand opening. They're like, "Oh man, you got to try this.
Cool.
This is really, really good stuff." And those same friends told me to ask you. So how'd you guys get the name Six Birds? They know the story. They told me to ask you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we can get for sure. I will say thank you to your friends. Like it's definitely worth the travel. Like there's not a lot of there's only like I think. Well, there's a few cideries popping up for sure. There's us and Cider Core physically in the Phoenix Metroplex. They're definitely out in Mesa, doing a great job over there, doing their thing. But Six Byrd, so we started out as Crush Craft Cider.
Okay.
And that is actually we still hold that name as kind of our holding company name. And so we DBA as Six Byrd. And so, it was, what year was that? I think it was probably 19. We incorporated 17. In 18, we released our first product in August. And then probably around 1920, we had someone call out of California and challenge us for the brand, the name Crush Craft. They were doing, he was claiming a competitive, a non-compete or a competitive imbalance with the name because he was doing a wine branding company. And so he didn't make anything. Make a beverage, I would say. He was making hard goods like glasses and shirts and different things like that. And so he was challenging us for the name. And at the same time, we were getting, not pushback, but, we were getting like, oh, it's the Crush Boys, or, I don't know, we're getting, like, our logo wasn't perfect, or we didn't like it as much. We were getting some different comments on, like, it looked not that great. And so at the same time, we were considering rebranding. Yeah. And so the dude's name, I forgot, I don't even remember his name. I think it's Kevin something. But we were joking around. It's actually a lot harder to come up with a brewery name or a cider name that people think of. I mean, you can call it whatever, but to come up with backstories and a good, emotion behind like what you're doing and why you're doing it. So we're joking around, and I forget even knew who did it first, but we're just like, F this guy, and we throw up a couple birds. Yeah. And that's kind of like in our Thorn family, it's almost we have a lot of boys, so we throw up the bird a lot growing up. It was almost a term of endearment, it's like
salutation.
Hey, exactly. You see someone you're not expecting, throw them the bird, or at least a family member.
That's hilarious.
So we threw up the birds. The next thing you know, we're all flipping each other off, holding up Six Birds, and we're like, hey, Six Birds for Kevin, and we're like, oh, that'd be funny, like Six Byrd Cider, and we're throwing out all these different names, Arizona stuff, we're all natives, but then it just kept circling back around to like Six Byrd, like it just was like, man, why was that so damn good? And for Crushcraft's great, but it was more rigid, a little bit more. Rigid branding, and Six Byrd was more of our company profile, more of our personal profile, more fun, more playful, more inviting. You can do all sorts of puns. We love the puns. You can do all bird flights, all different things. Flights of ciders and all those different things.
Flights with the Y?
Actually, I don't know why we don't have that on the menu. Right? We're changing that this week. I'm stealing that, Greg.
That's fine. You can have it.
Yeah, thank you. Flights with the Y, exactly. So, so that's kind of the non-PC version of the story. I mean, depending on who's asking, sometimes we say, it's our favorite, inspired by our favorite birds. Larry Bird, Sue Bird. All the different, all the great birds that. And so we threw the Y.
The wren, right?
Yeah, the
hawk.
wren, the cactus wren, and that's on our logo. Arizona inspired. We threw a Y in there to, if anything, just to break up. There's a lot of straight lines.
Yeah.
And then the name, and then Bird with a Y is more of a name, more of a last name style. So it kind of fit. And Six Bird's been flying high ever since. So occasionally we'll have different customers throw us the Bird every once in a while when they get real comfortable.
With you guys,
they're always fun. And that's the fun thing about our tap room and the environment at the cidery is, I wouldn't say it's different than a brewery because it's just not the same thing. But I don't know, it's just always inviting. People travel from all over the valley to come down and hang out. We're always doing different specials, different things. I think we have ornament making today, but we have a mulled cider on. So cider's good hot and cold.
Yeah.
And you can definitely do that at home as well. The mulled is actually that cranberry spice. You heat that thing up. Maybe you want to throw in a little extra something or not, but that's a nice cup of warm something on a cool porch. Yeah. Oh yeah. So throw this extra cinnamon stick in there. Maybe a liquor of your choice if you'd like. But they're always good. So we don't do the liquor at the tap room, but we definitely spice it up and throwing in some extra stuff and extra spices. And
you guys distro?
Warm. Yeah, we distribute all around the valley. Jackson. Again, lead sales, distribution specialist. He gets out. We've all over, everywhere we can kind of reach. We're still like mom and pop shop. We self-distribute everything. So we've at least been in at least 100 different bars and restaurants in the valley.
Yeah.
But we've gotten all the way down to Tucson. We make some drops down there for some cans, up to Flagstaff or Prescott. But we love downtown Phoenix is one of our favorite markets.
Yeah.
We sell a lot of cider down here. Really great bars on Roosevelt Row. We're sitting on one right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so down here, downtown Gilbert, Chandler area. We have a lot of great partners kind of on that string, but definitely up in the North Scottsdale PV area. Jackson does a fantastic job to get around. It's not easy. He's the only guy wheeling and dealing out there for us. We've kind of got a small 3-man team, and I specialize in product and production and in warehouse management. And my older brother Eric does a lot of the accounts and all the less glamorous stuff, if you will. He does a great job, but he helps me, a ton with all of the making and kind of idea stuff. Everybody does, and then I'd be remiss to say Jackson's younger brother, Harry, is also my right-hand man in the cidery. So it's like definitely a family business.
Yeah.
Everybody in our family has held a job or volunteered at some portion. It's been a lot of fun. A lot of work, but a lot of fun.
You three started it, you and Jack and...
Me, Jack,
Eric?
and Eric. So, we're all Thorns.
All from the valley?
Yeah, all from the valley. Our dads are brothers. I believe Jackson's dad, Craig, moved down to the valley first, late 80s. Well, sorry, he was down here at ASU, and then he stayed, and then my dad came down in early 90s, so we've been down here. I was born and raised down here, same with Jackson.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been it's always funny. Running into Valley natives is kind of rare these days almost, it feels.
Yeah.
So it's always funny. Like, I went to school out in Texas. Jackson went to ASU, and then my brother went to a small school in Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. We all found our way back home, or, Jackson's, he loves traveling around, so he's definitely seen the world and stuff. But, yeah, we've all Valley natives.
yeah.
There's something that draws me back, man. I think it's the mountains. Up north, down south, there's all different stuff. I love it.
You have like every single climate in Arizona. A lot of people don't realize it because they think Phoenix first.
Oh, yeah.
And they think the valley and the desert.
A giant hot bowl of sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They think, the, what do you call it, Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner.
Yeah, exactly.
With the mesas and the
rodeo,
cacti and
yeah,
everything.
Exactly. And then whether you want to correct people on like how to say saguaro or not, or like,
I'm still learning how to properly pronounce everything.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because I'm from California.
Oh, you're California?
Yeah, from the Bay Area.
Okay. Oh, we won't hold that against you, Greg.
No, thank you. I've assimilated nicely.
Yeah, no, I joke. No, and that's what's also, I love Phoenix for, so many reasons. But yeah, it's a melting pot, a hot pot of, everyone from all different states and around the world. Arizona, it's one of those pros and cons. People always say we don't really have an identity because we have so many kind of identities kind of rolled in, and obviously Southwest and all the great, history there and everything from different cultures. So I mean, I love it.
And we got the snowbirds every winter. They come in with their own culture.
Yeah, the streets fill up, but we love them. They come in and
spend their money.
and I'm a big golfer, and my family we love to golf.
Me too.
So nice. We'll have to play around sometime.
I would love to.
So I have different friends and family come in. It's always for different sporting events, and coming down when they're snowed in or rained out in the Northwest, they fly down, grab a pint of cider somewhere and grab a round of golf.
Did you ever play sports when you were a kid?
Oh yeah, I played. I played all the ball sports. And, I wasn't a hockey guy, but soccer, baseball, basketball, football. Bunch of my friends played lacrosse. I did not. I wish I played. It looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always like playing them in the season. You didn't get worn out if you play them year round. But and that's the thing about here. You can play everything year round. So
just about,
you can kind of wear yourself out if you're not careful.
Yeah, lacrosse is like a mix between football, soccer, and hockey.
Yeah. I know that's the field hockey, and then my friends. I went to the games in high school, and a bunch of my buddies said, I mean, it's a fun sport to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I don't know if I'd be good catching that little ball in that.
The weight and the size of that thing thrown around. That's why I was like, what? I think I'll just stick to baseball. It's a little bit. At least it's not zipping around. Everywhere.
Or my head anytime. Yeah. I played football, soccer, baseball.
Nice.
Growing up, so
cool.
I always appreciate it. Do you go to like any of the pro teams around here?
Are
you a pro sports fan?
Yeah, pro sports fan. I love the Diamondbacks. Big. Well, I will say Valley sports. Suns fan first.
Okay,
at least Valley style. Just born and raised on the Nash era and the Stoudemire era.
Thunder Dan.
Definitely.
KJ,
and that was in the rearview mirror
a
little bit for me. I'm, 32.
And they got a great team now, but.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, and
they got to keep healthy though.
Yes, that's true. KD, rest up.
Yeah.
No, and I've been a fan, and there were the down years where we were, for that decade that was just tough. 2010, 2020. But,
then you drafted Ayton, and he kind of became a bust.
Yeah,
and that was hard.
Ayton, I love Ayton. I wish him the best too, but, exactly. Some guys just, develop differently and all these different things. We found Booker through all that, so.
No, true, he's a world-class player.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, me and my fiance went to the Game 7, unfortunately, against Dallas. That was our second date. It was the biggest playoff loss in NBA history, blowout in Game 7, but I did meet the love of my life, so not all bad.
Yeah, right.
But that was So everything tied to this. I love sports. Cardinals playing a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll be able to catch a game here in a little while.
Oh yeah.
They're playing at 2:15. But I was born and raised on college football, really, actually.
Okay, yeah. ASU, number one.
Yeah, ASU. They're doing well.
Big
I have
10,
to. I have to admit.
Big 12. I'm sorry, Big 12 champs.
Big 12. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Exactly. And well, I have to admit, my family is from Oregon. A lot of my family is from Oregon, so I was born and raised a Duck fan.
And they're
so
like number one, right?
Yeah, we did finally, get a Big Ten championship in the inaugural year. That's been fun. And then, but honestly, it's like Oregon and ASU because I'm into at least 50 ASU games growing up as a kid. We were very fortunate to have awesome season tickets through the company, through our dad's company and everything like that. And so we went to at least 3, 4, 5 games a year. So college football, it's just got that spirit and the vibe that I really love.
The energy is like electric in college games.
It's a little bit less well, not a little bit. It's less corporate for sure. You got the bands playing, you know, and everyone's having a good time. The rivalries, it's always fun.
Yeah, the student energy coming from the student section.
And
all that.
I couldn't be
band.
happier for the Sun Devils too. I mean, it's been a long time coming, but I know a lot of fans that been waiting a long time, and people don't realize how much of their love of ASU and U of A and football in Arizona too.
Yeah.
Texas and California get all the love, but we've got some good things happening here too.
And the up and down of the ASU program itself with the controversy and the Herm Edwards era.
The Herm years, and like it's funny. I'm always one of those guys to give them the benefit of the doubt, or like everyone wanted Herm to work out. And it's one of those things. Even though these guys come in, they don't work out all the time. They do bring some good imprints on it, but whatever it left you, it led you to Dillingham, who's, Dilly's been putting it together. So that's been really, really impressive. He's actually a former Oregon coordinator. Just throw it out there.
Well, there you go.
He spent a year up there. Yeah, exactly. So I've been rooting for him too. I think he's my age, which just blows my mind.
I know, right? Yeah.
I'm like, damn. I'm happy for him, but I'm like, part of me's like, God.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting up there too, and it's like, fuck, man, all these young guys doing it, like, with the success. I'm like,
it's crazy.
But you got to be there, right place at the right time.
No, I mean, you can't begrudge hard work and timing. Right. I mean, to me, luck is combination of opportunity and timing and skill and all those wrapped up. So and again, they're doing a great job. So I don't necessarily want to see him in the playoff. I definitely have to root for my Ducks, but that Scadaboo, they're all looking good, man. I don't want to play ASU in the playoff.
Well, you didn't go to ASU. You're just an ASU fan, so
I'm an Oregon fan. I'm an ASU fan. I went to a small Catholic school in Texas, so I have no proper college allegiance.
Okay.
As far as like my school didn't have a football team. I actually played D3 golf. I walked onto the golf team. Got some free rounds out of it.
That's cool.
Yeah, I played 4 years. It was fun. I went around. I actually got up to Penn State. That was a really cool tournament up there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's different. Way hard to play up there.
Yeah, I went to San Jose State, so
okay.
Yeah, we're not known for our sports.
No, really?
Yeah.
San Jose, you guys, the football team has been pretty good.
They're actually in a bowl game.
Yeah, I was going to say, they've been
Hawaii Bowl, I think.
I'm also one of those guys, being in the warehouse, I get the fortunate to listen to too much sports talk radio. So this, Greg, you're inviting me right into a channel that I know. I'm like, I can talk sports all day as well as get cider and beer. So cider I know a lot more about than beer. I just drink more.
Are you getting into the sports betting at all, or are you trying to stay away from that?
It's funny. I'm more of a bird in hand versus two in the bush type of guy.
Right.
But I love following the lines, seeing what's going on.
Yeah.
Like I said, just listen to too much sports shit for my own good. So I'm always listening to the stupid arguments on there.
Yeah. Nobody's right.
Yeah, it's always. Yeah,
and they never admit when they're wrong.
Oh, yeah. That's the easiest part. If you never have to admit you're wrong.
Yeah.
And, it's sort of like politics in that respect.
Right.
Anyway, sorry, Greg. That's a different podcast.
Yeah, no, right. No sports or religion.
Yeah,
in the bar, please.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, politics, but throw that in there. Yeah.
Oh, no, that's for politics and religion.
But no, I follow you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely have those family rules. At the family parties, those are always fun.
I get into sports betting, but really it's like $5-10 on a game.
See, and I do the fantasy sports for sure, and I'm the weirdo who does fantasy golf sometimes. But
really? They have that?
They do. They do. Yeah. It's they run. You can run it all different sorts of ways, different apps. But we run actually kind of a family. Well, we run a family style sort of company thing with my brother Eric and Jackson and whoever really wants to. Actually, my fiance has been getting into it. she's way too good at golf fantasy for her own good. But yeah, no, you just you get some players you select on a tournament, and you get like 6 heads, 6 players, and it's a combination of how they score and different things. The majors are really like what everyone gets up for.
Yeah.
The Masters and PGA and all those.
Yeah.
So they're fun. But yeah,
The
it's
Open,
always just like, I'll throw $5 or $10 here and there. I have some buddies that go pretty deep into it. Some of the tickets you see, I'm like, all right, man. If you're up, good for you, man. But damn.
Yeah, the season's ended already, so they're waiting for February, right?
Yeah. For the football?
No, I'm talking about for golf.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Yes, you are
AT&T
correct.
usually.
And, well, it's funny. They do a wraparound season, so they've already started next year already.
Oh, okay.
They have this weird fall stretch, winter stretch, calendar year flip over.
Yeah.
I think Justin Thomas was battling out with Scheffler last time I saw at the Hero.
The
Tiger Invitational, if you will.
Oh, gotcha.
The Hero World Championship over in the Bahamas.
Oh, yeah. They go down south. They go a little bit south for the games. Yeah,
and then it's like, I don't know how, well, I know how Tiger swung it. He's Tiger, but like it's only like 30 players that get invited. Usually the tournaments are much bigger. That's why they're always giving Liv grief for tiny tournaments. But
I don't pay attention until the AT&T Pro-Am.
See, okay,
That's when I start paying attention.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, California.
Yeah,
that's a good one. The AT&T, Torrey Pines over there. I've always wanted to get up over there. We have the great fortune of having a house near Bannon Dunes. My family does. I do.
Yeah. It's one of the best public courses, right?
It's up there for sure.
That's more of a link style?
Yeah, definitely. No, on the coast, Irish style. It's actually, when you draw a line on latitude, Oregon and Ireland are almost pretty similar up there.
Okay.
So it's very similar climate, obviously. And
right
then
up the sea.
The sea, right at the windy, the cold, the rain, and then all the gorse bush they brought over too.
Oh, they did?
So that stuff's not native, but they got plenty of gorse over there as well. So don't hit into the gorse.
Right. Yeah.
That let it go.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. They just play it as a hazard, right?
Yeah. If the gorse swallows it, you just good luck. just take a drop and move on.
Yeah, hopefully you can find it to begin with.
Yeah, true.
I've never played it. I think Ice Plant is the closest I've.
Oh, really? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Ice Plant. Those have a little bit softer disposition than the gorse.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. No, I need to get out to the California courses and
Oh yeah, along the. I've never played Pebble Beach, but I've done like Spanish Bay.
Nice.
What else? Spyglass, and what's that other one they have out there? I
was gonna say there's a ton. I know. I'm trying to think of something. Now I'm like, there's Olympic, I believe, and then a bunch. But in LA, up and down.
Oh yeah,
and then I was gonna say there's Riv, there's all sorts of good ones, and then. I mean, that golden era of kind of development in the 1920s of golf courses, there's a couple that stretched up to Oregon. The guy who designed Pebble did like a little 9-hole in Coos Bay, actually, I believe.
Oh, okay.
And it's just really fun. It's a public course, but there's all sorts of those little gems up there.
Oh, Poppy Hills, that's the other one.
Poppy, okay.
Yeah,
I've heard of
that one's great. That one's tough, man. That's a long course, man.
Okay.
It's long and it's hilly but it's fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's fun. And all the amenities that those upper echelon courses provide are so great.
Yeah, those are all, I mean, like, I don't profess myself to be all that good, but you get out there, you hit some good shots, have some good, good times with some friends. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, right.
You come out here and it's freaking 73 degrees. You might lose some balls, but hell, if you know.
I'm a hacker, to be honest, but I still love going out there.
Hacker, duffer, get out there, man.
Yeah.
I'm always just like, hey, a little pace of play. I always grew up, my grandpa always said, hey, you can stink, just stink fast. and grandpa always finished around under 3 hours,
Oh, so, wow.
He was
moving.
A quick guy. Oh, yeah. So, we learned the value of quick play.
I can get behind that. It's just for fun. We're not a tournament. We're not,
And Lord knows, like, hey, take some practice strokes, but hey, if you don't think, hit it and move.
I can get behind that. Yeah. You don't want to be the bottleneck on the course.
No, that's never a good thing when you're getting visited by the ranger. They don't like that as much. Yeah. So, and that's one of the drawbacks to some of the other courses. Some of the courses they get real pinched down. Some are not as good as their namesake, and so you get a lot of people out there. But
have you played TPC around here?
Not in a very long time. I played the desert course. More often than actually, just again, fortunate enough when I was a kid, my dad had a friend not be able to come down and play the championship course.
Yeah.
And so I actually played it when I was like 13 or 14.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I shot like a 102 or something awesome.
Shit, probably way better than me.
Oh, but yeah. But I had a great time with my pops. You're hitting onto the island green on 15 and taking your shot at 16. But you don't have the big...
the grandstand.
Thank you,
16?
grandstand. That's where I'm looking for grandstands. Yeah. So, but it's still awesome course. I mean, there's no shortage. I got some favorites around the valley. I live over in Mesa. There's got some good, great ones over there, like Longbow, Las Sendas. What am I thinking of? Red Mountain Ranch Country Club. I hit a hole in one there. It was awesome.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, hole number 3.
Yeah, I have a friend who hit his first hole in one this past year, and
nice.
He won't shut up about it.
Oh yeah, no, you can't. You can't. I've hit 2. I've been lucky enough to hit 2. One when I was, again, I don't know if I counted. I was like 15 at a par 3 course, but hey, it went in. One shot.
It's in, man.
114.
That's a good distance.
Yards. Yeah, a little pitching wedge.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it goes in, man, count it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's what keeps you going back. You hit one good shot.
Oh
and
yeah,
then
that dead solid perfect,
yeah,
man.
Exactly. I mean, it's sort of like brewing. You're like, how the hell did that work out? And you're like, all right, let's see if we can do it again. And that's the hard part, Greg.
Yeah,
you got to do it again.
Right.
You bring it back to consistency.
Right.
That is the name of the game. And golf and a lot of things in life.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, Jared, thank you so much for sitting down.
Thank you, man. This has been a blast. I was
Yeah.
a little nervous sitting down, but I appreciate it, man. You made me feel right at home. It's been,
Oh, man,
it's been a lot of
you're
fun.
natural, bro.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Like I said, too much talk radio for my own good. So,
Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.